Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. You know how much we love to dig into those fascinating corners of, well, just stuff that we don't always think about.
Right.
And today we're going to be talking all about sleep.
Ooh.
And to do this, we're going to be taking a deep dive into a conversation between Jennifer and Daniel
Okay.
on their English Sleep podcast. It's part of Speak English with Class.
That's it.
And their episode was all about what will happen if you stay up late, which is a question I think we've all asked ourselves at some point or another, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so we're going to be kind of pulling out the core insights from their conversation and really trying to get a handle on why sleep is so important and what happens if we don't get enough.
Sounds good.
But before we jump into all that, I have a quick question for you.
Oh,
What animal can sleep for up to 22 hours a day?
22 hours a day.
Is it a sloth, a
Ooh,
koala,
ooh.
or a cat?
I'm going to go with koala.
Okay, we'll have to see if you're right at the end of the episode. But in the meantime, let's talk about sleep.
Yeah.
Now, we all know that feeling, right? When you just can't seem to fall asleep. You're tossing and turning all night,
Same.
and you wake up feeling completely exhausted.
Absolutely.
And Jennifer and Daniel actually start their conversation with a great proverb. It's a Chinese proverb that says, "A good laugh and a long sleep are the best cures in the doctor's book."
That's a good one.
Isn't that great? It really highlights how important sleep is for our overall well-being.
Absolutely.
And the National Sleep Foundation actually recommends that adults get between 7 and 9 hours of sleep per night.
7 to 9. That's the golden number.
That's the golden number.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the truth is that many of us aren't getting anywhere near that amount.
It's tough.
It is tough.
Yeah.
And it turns out that not getting enough sleep can have some pretty serious consequences.
Oh, yeah.
Jennifer and Daniel pointed out that the World Health Organization has linked insufficient sleep to a whole range of health problems like obesity,
Mm-hmm.
heart disease, even an increased risk of certain types of cancer.
It's pretty serious.
Yeah. It really is. So what's actually happening in our bodies when we sleep that makes it so important for our health?
So while we're sleeping, our bodies are actually hard at work repairing and restoring themselves.
Okay.
So we're releasing hormones like growth hormone, which helps our bodies grow and repair tissue.
Uh-huh.
And our immune system is also getting a boost while we sleep.
Wow. So it's not just about feeling rested. It's actually a time when our bodies are doing some really important maintenance work.
Yeah, exactly. It's like taking your car in for a tune-up.
Right.
We
Yeah.
need to do it regularly to keep things running smoothly.
I like that analogy. And speaking of running smoothly, what about our mental health? How does sleep affect that?
Well, it turns out that sleep is also crucial for our mental and emotional well-being.
Yeah.
Research has shown that chronic sleep problems can actually increase our risk of developing mood disorders like depression and anxiety.
That makes sense. I know when I don't get enough sleep, I definitely feel more irritable and stressed out.
Right. And a study from UC Berkeley found that sleep deprivation can actually impair our ability to process emotions.
Really?
Yeah. So when we're sleep deprived, our brains have a harder time regulating our emotional responses.
So basically, we're more likely to overreact to things when we're tired.
Exactly.
Wow, sleep really does affect everything, doesn't it?
It really does.
What about our cognitive abilities, like our ability to learn and remember things?
So sleep plays a huge role in memory consolidation, which is basically the process of transferring information from our short-term memory to our long-term memory.
Okay.
And studies have shown that people who get enough sleep are better able to learn new information.
And remember it later on.
Exactly.
That's fascinating.
And I love this quote that Jennifer's grandfather always used to tell her.
Okay.
He would say, "Sleep is the best meditation."
Wow.
I mean, how true is that?
That's so true. It's like it allows our minds to just kind of reset and recharge.
Exactly.
And that brings us to another really interesting point that Jennifer and Daniel made about the brain's detoxification process during sleep.
Oh, yeah. This is fascinating.
So tell me more about this.
Well, researchers at the University of Rochester discovered that during deep sleep, our brains actually clear out toxins and waste products.
Really?
Yeah, it's called the glymphatic system, and it's basically like a garbage disposal for our brains.
Wow, so our brains are literally cleaning themselves while we sleep.
Exactly, and what's really interesting is that some scientists believe that this process could be impaired in people who chronically don't get enough sleep.
Oh, so that could potentially contribute to the development of neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's.
Exactly. It's a pretty compelling theory.
Wow, so sleep is not just about feeling good and
Mhm.
functioning well, it's actually essential for our long-term brain health.
It really is.
Now, Jennifer and Daniel also touched on how sleep can affect our creativity.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever had that experience where you're struggling with a problem
All the time.
and then you sleep on it and wake up with a solution?
Totally.
It's like our brains need that time to kind of process information and make new connections.
Yeah, exactly. It's like our subconscious mind is working on the problem while we sleep.
And they also shared an African proverb that I thought was really interesting.
Oh, what's that?
It says, "Sleep is the cousin of death."
Wow, that's intense.
It is intense, but I think it's meant to highlight just how essential sleep is for our survival.
Right. It's not that sleep is literally like death,
Right.
but it is a state of deep rest and rejuvenation that we absolutely need to function.
I see. It's like acknowledging that we need to give ourselves over to this process of rest in order to truly thrive.
Exactly.
So we've talked a lot about why sleep is so important, but let's get practical.
Okay.
What are some things that we can actually do to improve our sleep habits?
Well, Jennifer and Daniel had some great tips.
Okay.
One of the things they mentioned was the importance of creating a relaxing bedtime routine.
Okay, so like what kinds of things are we talking about here?
So things like taking a warm bath,
Yeah.
reading a book, listening to calming music, just anything that helps you wind down and signal to your body that it's time to sleep.
And they also talked about the importance of avoiding screen time before bed.
Yes, blue light from our devices can actually suppress melatonin production,
Right.
which is the hormone that helps regulate our sleep-wake cycle.
So it's best to put away the phones and laptops at least an hour before bed.
Exactly.
What about our sleep environment? Does that play a role?
Oh, definitely. Your bedroom should be cool, dark, and quiet.
Oh,
You might want to invest in some blackout curtains or a white noise machine to help block out any distractions.
that's a good idea. And they also mentioned the importance of sticking to a regular sleep schedule.
Yes, consistency is key. So try to go to bed and wake up around the same time each day, even on weekends.
That can be tough, but it's definitely worth it.
It is. Your body will thank you.
And if you're still struggling to fall asleep, they suggested some relaxation techniques like deep breathing exercises or meditation.
Yeah, those can be really helpful.
They can, and they also talked about the importance of journaling before bed to get all of those racing thoughts out of your head.
Oh, that's a good one.
And let's not forget about diet.
Right.
What we eat and drink can definitely affect our sleep.
Absolutely.
So avoiding caffeine and alcohol before bed is a good idea.
And big, heavy meals, too.
Yeah,
Those can keep you up.
they can.
Yeah.
They also mentioned chamomile tea as a good bedtime beverage.
Oh, yeah. Chamomile is great. It's very soothing.
And it has that lovely kind of floral scent.
Yeah.
And speaking of wise words, Jennifer and Daniel ended their conversation with a quote from Benjamin Franklin, who famously said, "Early to bed and early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise."
I love that one.
It's a classic, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it really speaks to the power of good sleep habits.
It does.
So to sum it all up, sleep is absolutely essential for our physical health,
Mm-hmm.
our mental well-being, our cognitive function, and even our creativity.
It affects every aspect of our lives.
And as Jennifer and Daniel put it, it's not selfish to prioritize sleep.
Absolutely not.
It's actually an investment in ourselves
Yeah.
and in our long-term health and happiness.
Right.
So now for the big reveal.
Okay.
Which animal sleeps for up to 22 hours a day? You guessed koala,
I did?
and you are correct.
Yay.
Koalas are champion sleepers, and it's all thanks to their diet of eucalyptus leaves,
Oh, that's right.
which are low in nutrients and require a lot of energy to digest.
So they got to sleep it off.
They gotta sleep it off.
Yeah.
And just to add on to that, Jennifer and Daniel actually provided a list of some great vocabulary and expressions related to sleep
Oh, that's helpful.
in their full episode.
Yeah.
Like tossing and turning, foundation well-being,
Right.
function insufficient obesity, hormone chronic mood disorders like depression and anxiety impair emotional reactivity, memory consolidation rejuvenate, detoxify.
That's a lot of good vocab.
It is. So if you're looking to expand your vocabulary around sleep, I definitely recommend checking out their full episode.
That sounds good.
But before we go, Jennifer and Daniel left us with a beautiful quote from Shakespeare.
Okay.
He wrote, "Sleep that knits up the raveled sleeve of care."
It's so poetic.
Isn't it? It really captures the healing power of sleep.
Absolutely.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of sleep, we hope that you've gained a new appreciation for just how important it is for your overall health and well-being.
Yeah.
And we encourage you to prioritize getting a good night's rest tonight
Absolute.
and every night. And as you drift off to sleep tonight, think about this.
Okay.
What's one small change you can make to improve your sleep quality? It could be something as simple as putting away your phone an hour before bed
Yeah.
or creating a relaxing bedtime routine. Whatever it is, make a commitment to yourself to prioritize sleep. Because as we've learned today, it's one of the most important things you can do for your health,
Yeah.
your happiness, and your overall well being. Sweet dreams, everyone.